So Didi Gregorius is signed with the Phillies. There's a couple other moves made by the San Francisco Giants. And now with this signing of Didi, I feel like it's opened up some other moves for free agents and some teams to make moves to fill their holes. So there's some things to talk about today, and we're going to do that right now. So if you guys are still enjoying these types of videos and you want to see some more of them, hit the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And as always, in the comment section, let me know what you thought about the deals that happened in baseball today, especially with this Didi Gregorius move to the Phillies. What do you guys think about it? If you're a Phillies fan, are you excited about it? Or do you think it was a waste of money? Or what do you think? I want to know down in the comment section down below. If you missed my video from earlier, it's going to be up here in the top corner. Go and give it a watch if you did miss it. It was a couple hours ago, so go and give it a watch. And also, all social media links are down in the description below: Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. Go and give them a follow if you haven't already. So let's talk about like kind of the minor moves I would say that happened earlier today, kind of the same time actually as Didi Gregorius. The first one being Kevin Gausman signing to the San Francisco Giants. So Kevin Gausman to the Giants kind of helps with that starting rotation that now has Derek Rodriguez, you got Cueto, Samardzija, and I feel like there's still some questions about who's going to fill out that rotation. Kevin Gausman is kind of that player that I feel like is potentially a name that's going to be part of that rotation going forward. It was a $9 million contract with some incentives. It can go up a little bit more, but again, it's not a terrible deal. I'm pretty sure it was a one-year deal. And when you look at his stats for the past two seasons, in 2018, he had a 3.92 ERA. His whip sat at 1.3, so that is a little bit high, but he did pitch 183 innings. And then I'm pretty sure this is the year that he first joined the Braves. And when he joined the Braves, his ERA was actually pretty solid and he looked like a pretty formidable pitcher. But then you look at what happened in 2019 and you kind of see, 100 innings of almost a 6 ERA. The whip's at 1.4, which again is quite high. So are you going to get, first joining the Braves, Kevin Gausman, or are you going to get a pitcher who just seems like things are starting to fall and just not really shape up? They look like things are starting to crumble and maybe he's just not gonna turn out to be a pretty solid pitcher. So hopefully going to San Francisco, he's gonna find some new form, something, a change of scenery helps him out and he finds his new way. So we'll see what happens, because Kevin Gausman, he's shown he's got some potential, but then again it's like then he's shown he doesn't have potential. So we'll see what happens with this deal. It's nothing too crazy, but again, it's not a terrible deal. It's 1 year. We'll see what happens with Kevin Gausman. Another thing that the San Francisco Giants did was they took on the contract of Zack Cozart, who's making $12 million this year. And they also took in a prospect in Will Wilson. The thing with this trade that I don't really understand is you have Longoria making 15, you got Posey making 22 million, you got Cueto making 21, Samardzija's making just under 20, Crawford's making 15 million, and Brandon Belt's making 17 million. There's been talks of them trying to get other top free agents, but then you're going out giving Kevin Gausman 9 million. You're taking on Cozart's $12 million contract, and yes, I get that you're getting a prospect in Will Wilson, the shortstop, who let's take a look at his stats in rookie ball. So Will Wilson last year in rookie ball had a 2.75 ERA, 3.28 on base percentage, 4.93 slugging, and 7.68 OPS, which isn't terrible. Obviously, it's his first year out of college. He's still developing. He's still a young prospect, first round prospect. Definitely got a lot of potential about him. He's shown that he has some promise. But the big thing for me is Zack Cozart. He's not a great player. Ever since he got paid and left the Reds, he's been injured a lot. He hasn't shown consistency. And let's take a look at these stats because they are atrocious. So first season he joined the Angels, he hit 219. His OPS sat at 658. And he only played in 58 games. So again, injuries played a part. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. Last year, he only played in 38 games, and his slash line was a 124 average, 178, 144, and OPS at 323. He is not doing well. Obviously, staying healthy has been a huge part of this issue, but why would the Giants just do this? You're looking at players like Nicholas Castellanos. You're looking at trying to improve your team, but yet you're taking on an aging player with a massive contract. You already have Longoria at third. Cozart has shown that he can play shortstop too, but I think he's past that point. So again, I don't really understand this move from the Giants. I get that they're taking on one of the top prospects from the Angels and Will Wilson, but again, yikes. What is this deal? I don't really understand it. For me, I think I get why the Angels did it. They're opening up cap space to work with for free agency. Garrett Cole's a player they're looking at. Anthony Rendon's now potentially a player they could try to bring in at third base. So I get why the Angels did it, but for me, the Giants, I don't really understand why they did this trade. It's just mind-blowing to me. So for me, Giants, I'd be really confused about this. Angels, I like the move. You're opening that space to potentially just throw money at Garrett Cole or Anthony Rendon. So finally, let's talk about this Didi move, because Didi was talking about potentially getting a 2-3 year deal with around 14 to 15 million each year, but now he's settled for a 1-year deal with the Phillies, which actually kind of works out for him because Citizens Bank Park had the 8th most pull side home runs for lefties, and Didi loves to pull home runs. That's how a majority of his home runs happen. So let's look at Didi's stats and let's see why I think this is actually a really good move for the Phillies. So 2018, 134 games for Didi. He had 268, 335, 494, and then an 829 OPS. Pretty solid stats. He's known for being a pretty decent fielder, lefty hitter as well, so that's good to have. And in Yankee Stadium, we know they have that short right field porch, so he's looking like he can show that he's taking advantage of it. And moving to the Phillies in Citizens Bank Park, he's going to take advantage of that porch as well. So last year he did struggle with a couple injuries, so you're not really going to see him be able to perform at his best. He hit 238 with an OPS at 718, but prior to that, he's shown that he's a very consistent hitter. He's shown that he's a very consistent fielder, and he can get the job done for the Phillies. They're looking to move on from Jean Segura anyways, so this basically means that, hey, the Phillies are done with Segura. They want to get rid of his $14 million contract, and they're trying to see who could take him for whatever. Jean Segura, they don't need him anymore. They've already basically said that they don't want him anymore. They're going to be listening to offers. So where do the Phillies go from here? Do they try to trade Jean Segura? Are they still trying to go for Anthony Rendon, Josh Donaldson? I've heard there's been some murmurs about Chris Bryant being a possibility, and this is where I'm kind of thinking that the Cubs would look at Jean Segura. And as a Cubs fan, I don't really like this. You got to think of Jean Segura as just a very average second baseman, shortstop. Fielding wise, he's just average, maybe below average at best. And then hitting wise, yes, his average is high, his on base percentage is high, but he doesn't really offer too much of pop, and he's just kind of just an okay hitter at best. So Jean Segura, for me, I don't really want to see the Cubs go for him, and I understand why the Phillies want to get rid of him. His contract is pretty bad at $14 million, and I feel like this move was really solid for the Phillies. They got a new starting shortstop. Now they can look to fill that second base spot, look to fill that third base spot, and if they can go and get Anthony Rendon, this Phillies team is looking unreal. It's looking really good, and I feel like they're going to be one of the top teams in the East. I still think they're lacking a little bit, some pitching, some, that third base spot's still open, that second base spot's still open. I know they do have Kingery, who they could potentially move in one of those spots, since they tried him in the outfield last year, and he did get used to the position a little bit, but you could see that he's not a true outfielder. So maybe stick him at second base, maybe stick him at third base, and then try to find someone else to fill that spot that's left open. So I think the Phillies are in a good spot. They've already mentioned that they're trying to be very aggressive in free agency and also just shell money out to whoever they can get that would want to join the team and make them a better team. They've mentioned that if they could get Rendon, they'd be willing to go over the luxury tax to get him. So I think this move just shows that they're trying to be aggressive in free agency and make the moves to make sure that they don't have a disappointing season like they did last year. I think this was a good move for them. 1 year, $14 million is not terrible for Didi Gregorius. And also for Didi, this shows that, hey, if I can stay healthy and then I do well this year, I can go out and get a 2-3 year deal for some pretty solid money going forward to end off my career. So for Didi, it works out. For the Phillies, it works out. And I think, the Phillies made some good business today. The Giants, on the other hand, I'm still not 100% sure why they did this trade. I think it was pretty, yeah. And then $9 million for Kevin Gausman. I'm still, yeah. I don't understand it. When I woke up this morning, I saw the Giants were the top bidders for Nicholas Castellanos, and then I'm finishing the day with Kevin Gausman and Zack Cozart joining the Giants. So for me, I'm mind blown by what's going on with the Giants, but if they feel like that's the best for their organization, yeah, go ahead and do it. And for the Angels, I like the move. You know, yes, you had to get rid of one of your top prospects, but you're opening up that money to try and get Garrett Cole, to try and get Anthony Rendon. So I like it. I think it was a good move for the Angels. It shows that they're trying to open up that space to get those top free agents. So we'll see how it goes. So again, guys, in the comment section, let me know what you think of the deals that happened today. If you like these videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and enjoyed the content. And then that's going to be it, guys. There's going to be 2 videos on screen. One is going to be my most recent video, and the other one is going to be one that YouTube recommends for you. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.